Yeah, everybody, you don't know, like usual. Once you see the face and you hear the voice, you know it's Zian alongside the people's favorite. Yeah, one like JRP.
GRP in the
Hey,
house,
JRP, I like the farmer look where I be today.
keeping it professional.
Which is right, which is right. Hey, but people, you don't know, we have to review each and every football match in the English Premier League. And yesterday was, let's say, a little bit of a dull affair. But JRP, Burnley still remains winless. I mean,
Like I said, a little bit of a dull affair. It didn't live up to the weekend hype. But Burnley winless from five.
yeah, I mean, what do you think caused that? Is it that the Premier League is too much, or do you think that's a bit down to the manager?
Zane, historically, I could say since we have been watching the English Premier League, we have known of Burnley playing this stubborn, lower block
Yeah?
kind of football, right?
Kind of like Everton.
Yes, kind of like Everton, kind of like the Stoke City.
Yes, yes.
And there was a lot of hype around. I wouldn't say, let's not say hype. There was a lot of excitement around Burnley when they were in the championship because they
Hmm?
were playing this brand new sort of football by them. You know, this exciting football,
Yeah, yeah. Like Premier League
this
standard.
attacking football.
That
Yeah, Premier League standard, and it's Vincent Company. This is one of Pep Guardiola players. So this is our next player of Pep Guardiola. Um, so for me, when they got promoted to the Premier League, I believe that it would be some sort of naivety to continue playing that way.
yeah, I agree. You have to adapt to the league and the teams that you're facing. So
Yes, yes, yes. Especially as a promoted team.
right, right. Because while the proper players are good enough for the championship, they are definitely not. Most of them, I won't say all of them. I'll say some of them are not Premier League ready. Right?
I'm not Premier League ready. And we see this type of playing from Burnley where they're playing this open attacking football. So they're not going to sit and close shop.
Right. I mean, listen. While that may work in the championship, we know the Premier League is a different animal. Right? So
Yes, it's a different kettle of fish.
yeah, I agree with you when they say this Burnley and the fact that they're still winless from five. It's I want to put some of the blame on the manager and how he's approaching the season. Right? And while it's still early,
He's a young manager,
yeah,
and he's an inexperienced manager as well.
true. But while it's still early, Burnley can continue to play like this, right? But if it comes
But
around by
but
January,
like I said, it's yeah, but like, whoa, but will they what if the result doesn't come by then, right? Because there are five match ins,
hmm
there's no win.
hmm
How long will it take before the sirens go off?
well, I mean, I don't know because I would say, seeing that it was Vincent Company that brought them back into the Premier League, you would hope that the owners and the board, trust him enough to keep
Which
them in the league. But we all know that's not the history of the Premier League. It, it-
no, that's not the history, and it is still a business. Burnley would want to go back down to the championship.
right. So, and that's what I was gonna ask. Let's say they stick with it, right? They say, hey, we're backing you to keep us in
Hmm.
the Premier League, and they stick with it. If January comes around and they're still down in relegation, still playing this kind of football, right? Don't you think he has to either ditch that and adopt a more defensive role, or if he gets sacked, you think, well, fair enough. Burnley needs somebody to keep them.
Well, it all depends in a zone because if I can't see Burnley, well, I wouldn't think that Burnley would not win a game from now up until January.
Man, Sad to
Because
say,
if they haven't win a game up until January, then that will be a difficult getting out of the relegation without a
yeah,
win.
yeah. Sad to say, we've seen it happen before in the Premier League. That's the bad thing.
But realistically, when I look at this Burnley team, right?
Yeah.
They've seen them beating anyone, let's say from 11 go down.
It, it's hard to say because I really don't see them beating anybody. I don't see them beating anybody
And
because
is it a case of they're that bad, or it's just a case that maybe they don't have enough quality, like you said earlier on?
I would say they're more uneven. They're not balanced because attacking wise, they flow and they play. It kind of resembles Manchester City in full flow, right? So attacking wise, they flow, they can play. But when it comes on the defensive side of things, that's where we see that
They struggle.
they struggle a lot. So I think it's more a case of the team is very uneven. It's all out attack and you know no emphasis on defense. But
Yes, yeah.
the thing is, while we can hype up Burnley, we have to sing praises to Nottingham Forest
Nottingham Forest,
because their home form is what kept them in the league last season. And it seems to be the thing that
and
will
they're
do the trick
continuing that.
again.
Yeah, yeah. A positive result by them.
Hmm.
A point on the board. They're what on the table?
Eight. They're eight in the table.
They're eight in the on the table. And like we said, it is early days, but to be eight in the table and in Nottingham Forest shoes, that is a good position to be in. They want to stick around in that area and to avoid going down into another scuffle.
Exactly. I mean, especially when it's like every season or every transfer window, let's say, Nottingham Forest signs a whole new squad. So,
Yeah, they have had quite a lot more players this time around.
yeah,
At some point, it will have to stop. At some point, all these players will have to gel together.
and do the job that they're out there to do.
Yeah, and do the job, because this cannot be the way forward for Nottingham Forest.
No, it's unsustainable, right? It's
Yeah,
definitely
they have
unsustainable.
managed to survive. Now they need to do what's necessary to stick around.
Yeah. I mean, being in eight is, a pretty good place to be. They have two good
They
keepers
have a
at the
good place to
moment,
be.
right? They got Turner and can't remember the guy from United. Their striker is scoring. So right now,
Yeah.
honestly, Nottingham Forest is loving life.
When you look on paper for Nottingham Forest now, they have acquired some good talents as well.
Yes, yes. From let's not just say from this transfer window, but from last season as well.
Yeah, from the previous transfer window.
Yeah, they have good
And they
enough
had some
squad.
players out with injuries as well.
Yeah, I honestly see Nottingham Forest being safe again. I I can't say the same for Burnley though. No, I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't see Burnley being safe this season.
Actually, I'm Burnley going down with Everton, you know.
Forever, forever. No, I mean, and
Yeah, I'm Burnley going down with Everton.
we wouldn't be surprised. Anybody that watched the Premier League wouldn't be surprised. But it when you see
Yes.
a team gets promoted and play the kind of football that Burnley's playing, you kind of want them to stay in the league, like a Brentford did,
Yes.
right? But the difference
But
is,
like I said early on, is yeah, go ahead.
Brentford is balanced because they're way more solid defending even than attacking, right? So Brentford has the
Yeah, yeah.
defensive part sorted out. But yeah, what we
But like
say?
I said early on, it you can say it's an act of bravery sticking to your model of playing, right? Playing this football that you want your side to play. But like I said, it can be a little bit of naivety as well,
Yeah.
because getting promoted into the English Premier League, I believe your first objective would be to try to just sustain and survive this season,
Yeah.
right? And then
You
you
feel.
build on that, and then you try best to launch out. But if you're going to come up and your first game, we saw their first game against Manchester City, right?
Yeah.
Bear in mind that you're coming up against a defending champion, right?
Yeah.
Not many teams can hold their own against Manchester City, even when you have the best of world class players on your side.
True.
We see them break apart many teams. We see them demolish many teams. But the manner in way Burnley went about doing their business in that match, they're trying to match Manchester City like tick for tack.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And then you see them slowly start getting picking up. I see City quality start to show. And I'm sitting there looking at and said Vincent Company is going to live or die by the way Burnley play.
mhm.
And 5 match in, and you're basically seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
He is not going to change much about the Burnley. And he's a student of Pep, right?
Yeah.
And Pep students seem to have these stubborn ways that this is where their side going to play,
And that's it.
and this is how they want to achieve it.
Yeah, that's it. No. Right. We both.
And perfect. And we see it with Arteta as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you mentioned Arteta because people that not much can be said for the game yesterday. Again, Burnley took the lead and let it slip. And kudos to Nottingham Forest for continuing with their good
Oh yeah, for
homework.
pulling it back.
You know, they definitely, I feel like they're definitely going to be safe this season, especially with their home record. But you touch on
And that's the thing.
Arsenal.
You want to make home as strong as possible.
Yeah. You touch on Arteta. I have to ask this question, Corley. How do you feel knowing that Champions League is back tomorrow?
It's a great feeling to know that we're back in the Champions League. Also, Manchester United as well. I mean, not being biased, Champions League have been born without
Yeah.
Arsenal and Manchester United.
Listen,
The two old rivals are back in it again.
I couldn't even listen to
Um,
Champions League music knowing that Arsenal are not. No,
yeah, it is upon us now to maintain that, and I believe that once Arteta is there, I believe it will be sustained. If you listen to Arteta press conference, right?
mhm,
In the last one leading up to Everton match, he acknowledged that he's a young manager, right?
right.
There were time in last season where he wanted to pull the goalkeeper, but he's saying that he wasn't brave enough. And I'm there sitting and saying this guy want to like pull a keeper, substitute the keeper
Yeah.
for a next keeper,
And
and
the
I'm
keeper.
like, either this is genius or this is some different level of madness.
I mean,
But what I learned from that is that Arteta realized that in order to challenge with City, you have to be better. You have to bring something different to the table, right? City is a much better team
yeah,
than last
yeah,
season, and Arsenal we need to be a better team than last season as well.
yeah, definitely. I'm just really excited to be back in the Champions League. I can enjoy it, the banter from the fans can finally stop. We're here. No, do you see us going far in the competition?
Truth be told, it's not a difficult group.
Right.
It's not. This is a group that we can top. Can't say the same for Manchester United, but I believe Manchester United will come out of their group as well.
Yeah, man.
As it relates to how deep we'll go into the competition, I believe it will depends on the players that are available. It will depends on the matchup that we get as well.
Hmm?
So things we play, all of the things will factor in.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, the first step is to get out of the group, and I believe that we will top the group.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can definitely top the group, and like I said, we need the favorable matchups, and we need injuries to kind of stay
Yes,
away from the club. But just
yes, and so far, injury has been sort of looking over our shoulders since the start of the season.
yeah, it's to be fair, it's kind of hit every Premier League team, and
Yeah,
again, that can be just to the hectic schedules, the
the,
internationals, the World Cup
yes,
qualifiers,
there's a lot of football playing, lot of
lots of
football.
football. Yeah, man. But to people, tomorrow we'll definitely let you know how Arsenal got on. Finally back in the Champions League.
Definitely,
And again, kudos to Nottingham Forest, right? With a home record
uh,
like they have, they'll definitely be safe. But Burnley,
definitely.
Burnley, Vincent Company, right? Just try and fix the defense before you go all out attack. That's our 2 cents on the matter. But like usual, people,
Could agree more.
yeah, it's Zane, JRP, the last of the real. We ask everybody, please. It's a rough world right now. So please be a brother's keeper and walk good.
Like always. And good up, follow you.